Hello, what's up, guys? So let's kick things off. Let's kick things off as a new member of the cast has joined. My co-founder in Creating Gentlemen Gaming, Nick Darkwing Rose, is here on the podcast.
You had to insert that right in the middle, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I love zinging you with that one. I'll tell the story.
Ninja also.
Now that you're on the podcast, I will tell the story of us at Nova, where I was in the elevator. This was like in 2010. And there's these like two nerds, super nerds in the elevator. And they're like talking about someone like as if he's a god. They're like, hey, did you hear? Darkwind's here. Yeah, he's
Darkwind.
He came to Nova, man. He's playing that leaf blower thing. I don't know what's going on. It's really, really crazy. He's here, though. I want to meet him. And I'm in the elevator like, who the fuck is Darkwind? So I get out of the elevator. I'm like, what's up, Nick? And these guys are like, oh, it's Darkwind. Oh, my God. So then I've been making fun of Nick for this nickname, even though I have a nickname. I've been making fun of you for this nickname forever.
And the bad part is, like, you haven't embellished in that story at all. It hasn't, like, changed or anything else. It's just been the same one. And it still holds true.
So all weekend, and every time I see Nick at a tournament, I'm just like, oh, it's fucking Darkwind, man. Oh, my God.
Also, I'm not going to lie. I didn't know who the fuck this Darkwind person was for like fucking 5 years of knowing you, by the way. Like, blah, 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 Darkwind in this. I'm like, who the fuck is Darkwind? They're like, you literally were standing next to him 2 seconds ago talking. I go, Rose? Like,
so after the introduction to Nick, we have one more pressing agenda item here. One of our castmates here recently got engaged, and that's Brad Chester.
Congratulations!
I'd like to thank all the people out there, the peons, that let this happen for me.
So you gotta tell me, Brad, how did this go down?
That was amazing because Britt is literally dying of either COVID or some sort of flu, basically banned from work, and we're separated by I'm upstairs and she's downstairs because of my feeble immune system. Literally, so I proposed yesterday and it was fantastic. So I go put on my jacket, go get flowers, I do give her the raid stuff. She's literally unconscious when I come down, goes, hey, leave me alone. I'm so terrible. I'm like, you're going to want to look up for this, baby. And so I get down. She's like, why do you look so nice? And you're on one. Oh, yes. Yeah. She gets all excited about it and goes, oh, you look so good, baby. And then she pauses and goes, oh, I fucking do not look so good right now. And I go, this is why I love you, sweetie, because you're good looks right now. She's like, fuck you. But thank God it finally happened. It's the best day ever.
I was going to wonder a 50-50 if she would say that. And yeah, I should have taken that bet.
Why did she ask me for the Croot Party picture?
Oh, because we were talking about I don't even know because as usual when Britt starts talking and anybody starts talking, I start randomly wandering away thinking about something else. So she had said something about having croup when she was talking about her cough and everything, and she was like, I had croup when I was younger. And I said, oh, croup party. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just said I had croup. And I'm like, yeah, but I got bored. So I started thinking of other stuff. So hold on, let me see if I can find this. So we had a whole croup party and I started singing and dancing it and he tried to explain what I'm talking about. And I made her Google croot. She's like, how did we even go to this right now? And I go, just message Alan and get the croup party picture because it's fantastic.
I will send it. Oh,
dear.
Congrats, definitely in order, and we're all very happy for you, bud.
I'm pretty happy too. Let's talk about this stuff, dude. Let's talk about this preview.
See, like these things are awesome. The knights are coming to AOS.
These are so cool.
Right? Like this is supposed to be.
That weapon is boss mode, by the way.
Yeah, I forget what this one is, but the other one's like the Kraken, the other one's the Gatebreaker.
How big are these?
But like.
I don't know. I can't tell size.
They have a scale picture. Go down. They are double the size of the other giant.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So they're bigger than. If you want to think about 40K terms, they're bigger than a knight. Or
I just want to say it's like a knight sized or more. That's actually
amazing. I'm so excited.
Well, it's on if you look at it, it's on the knight base also.
Look at the detail too. Like look at the lines in between, like all of the.
Dude, look at the weapon on the guy with the barbed wire around it. Looks freaking amazing.
He's got a cannon wrapped around it. The guy. Like literally, that's just a cannon.
It's so cool.
I don't know if that he's got a fire attack or a range attack, but who
This
cares?
is awesome. I love these guys. Plus, I'm excited
Yeah.
about these nipples.
It's a very strange thing that you're excited on, but we like it. I think this Blackstone Fortress box is pretty fucking cool, dudes.
See, like I haven't played Blackstone Fortress at all, so I don't know. But like all the other new models or like all the unique characters have been coming out have been awesome. But I don't understand the whole spindle drones or anything else either.
I dig it, you know what I mean? So it's not something I do a lot, you know what I mean? But I've just checked them out and I dig it. But let's scroll down to what I'm super excited about, because I think these models can actually be played in every game. Because I think these Shadow Stalkers are just, you could put those in any fucking army, any 40k army, doesn't matter, man. Those, you could literally be, those could be witches, those could be
You notice the bottom of that cloak though, like how it goes into her staff, his or her staff, no idea, but right, like that just seems like it's an extra shadow. Like I don't even know what's going on there, but it's just cool looking.
Oh, it's just, it looks so strong, dude. That I just I really like that the new line of models. And I'm not even a model guy, but I've been coming around to getting some better and stuff going on. But I really like that model.
Doesn't
I would
love a dual crossbow model too. This one's pretty sick.
Those guys have been cool forever too in the rules. I mean, those guys were cool. They had those in 5th edition fantasies, I think, when I started playing fantasy. And those were cool back then.
See, this guy's cool, but I wish they go back to the other one. Yeah, that guy on.
Yeah, that guy's boss mode.
I wish they you could see the other side of him, because the cloak, obviously, I get it, but like, where's the other
I think the
details?
cloak is small. I think this is open right here. So I think it starts off very narrow and it gets wide. Right? Like, so I think
wow,
the back
really
will look
weird.
really good. But yeah, you're right. I wish I can see it too.
I actually want to see the rules on that, because I bet you it's a plus something on the save for that.
Well, and the thing they said, this is not the full Warcry.
Like -1 to hit.
Yeah, something like that.
This one's awesome.
But I love that. That model is just so sick. I would get a bunch of that specific model and just run them as a unit. I'd run those in 40K.
This would be a really cool conversion for AOS daughters too. Like, instead of the snake chicks, you can just run these chicks, like, as opposed to snake.
Yeah, that's what they are.
So it'd be pretty
I
sick.
would use them for casters, or what's the Harley Quinn caster? Shadow Weaver?
Shadow Sayer.
Yeah,
Shadow Sayer. That's what I was thinking. I thought that was my original thought. In Harlequins, you could run them as Shadow Sayers.
Now this model is awesome too. I want to buy the high elf. The light elves, or whatever you want to call them,
They're still high elves to me.
for Age of Sigmar, and play that. Like, those guys are just awesome.
That just has a sick amount of detail in a very small model.
Yeah, Mitch really likes these two a lot. So,
like, the technology that GW models have gotten so much better, just with that veil. I don't know.
Yeah, this is sick.
I don't know how people are gonna paint. There's gonna be people who can do that amazing, like the real painters. I don't know how.
And then there's other people. There's going to be no face. It's just going to be like a black veil.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like, when Brad gets a model like this, he's gonna finger paint it. That's not gonna look great.
I'm just going to rub that shit
I'm
in.
pretty sure this is like, they painted the face with a very watered down skin tone, and then when it dried, they did like 2 or 3 more layers of the face itself.
That's what I'm thinking. They had a glaze it.
The face, yeah. And
this
then
is
they
the only thing with some of these models. That is an amazing scope. Don't get me wrong, but like, unless you are a big dick painter, you send this bad boy out to somebody. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I would try.
So I
to
would
paint
probably buy 1 or 2 just for one to paint myself and try my feeble attempt. I didn't do what you said, Brad. I could have done right.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Blood Bowl.
See, the stallions are so cool, just the way they look. Like, I love the character and themes. But
Looks really good.
I don't know if I would play Blood Bowl. Like, it's the same army that we've had for.
I have had my dwarves for 20 some years now. My Blood Bowl team.
Yeah,
But,
I still have my Dryad from when they're the old metal branches.
pull up Saul real quick. I don't like Saul. Fuck him.
GW though definitely made this thing preview extended out. Like, they spent like 20 minutes talking about Saul. I was just like, all right, come on, it's one model. Let's move on.
I think they had a lot of other news to probably release this month or next month.
No, but
They
you know the
pivoted
big
because
thing
of
though.
COVID.
Let's talk about it. I bet you Warner's super excited about it because the new Psychic Awakening has Inquisition, Sister Shit, and which, by the way, your sisters don't need any more help. Those guys are good. And Necrons. You know, I'll give it to
just
them.
that Necron model. That Necron model is awesome.
Yeah, the Necron model is really,
Like,
really
if
good.
they're
I'll bring it back up. Give me a sec.
if they're going to do, I hope they redo all the Necrons. So I think they're the only army that hasn't had a redone in what 10 maybe
Forever.
years now.
Yeah, I mean the oldest codex is demons, I think, because they actually have rules that don't exist anymore. They've had the most stuff that they had to put on FAQ just because they don't. But Necrons, Necrons have needed an overhaul for a while, dude. I think the rule. Did you see the rule for this guy? I mean, you're not going to be within 9 inches that often of a psyker, but I mean, it is a pretty sick rule. It's old school where you suffer perils on any doubles.
Yeah, I really want to know those if Illuminor has a war scythe, and that's what it looks like because he was never a close combat guy, and he had a staff of light or something. So
Yeah, well, he's going to have to. I assume he's going to have something like that because of the fact that he's got a super close ability. You know what I mean? Also, the fact, look at the bottom of his model. That is just an insane dude getting cut in half. It's fantastic.
I've always wanted to make a custom Necron army. And if they get good in the game, I probably will. I have all of the bits for it, and I was going to make it at one point, like almost half a decade ago. But it's essentially like the theme of the Necron army would be a full conversion army where you play Necrons before they made the deal with the Cetans. So they're all still human. They're not in the robot form yet.
What the hell would you use as models, though?
Dude. I had Flesh Eater Court models mixed with elf models from like fantasy, and then like the war gear of Necrons, because they still had living metal and guns and stuff, but they were living on like planets that were being consumed by radiation. So they were like dying within like 15, 20 years. They were fighting the old ones at the time, and they were just pissed.
Right.
And they made a deal with the Cetan gods, who were orbiting suns.
Yeah, to make them beat the old
to
ones.
basically to convert their souls
into
living metal.
Well, they didn't know that at the time. That was one of the worst deals ever. That was a my bad moment for the rest of the Necron race.
They just didn't read the fine print.
Yeah, you're like, oh, so we have protocols where we have to do whatever you say now because we're actually machines written in. Oh, sorry, guys.
I think that picture of Illuminor, though, he looks like he's making a flayed one or whatever. He's going to become a flayed one. Like, that's just a cool model.
Yeah.
I really, if they do like the destroyers and all the warriors and everything else different like that, that'll be amazing. And hopefully they'll get some close combat ability.
I think the Necron army is a lot closer than people think, because right now there's a viable army. It's just a boring army. You know what I mean? It's basically the best army right now in Necrons. No, it's decent against Marines.
I would hold that thought. Right? Like,
it's not really.
I'm saying three of the big guns, three of the flyers. Some of the things, it's a super boring army, but with fucking quantum shielding and stuff, it actually plays really well.
Yeah, but
it's just boring.
To like
that's what I'm saying. Like, but I'm saying the rest of the stuff
though is amazing.
What's up?
I want to know if that's just powered armor and 3-up save, or it's gonna be like something different for 2-up save, or I don't know. But like then that power fist.
He's got a fairy dragon.
Is this an Inquisitor?
Well, it kind of reminds me of Codex of 2.0.
It's down one. Draxus. Yep. Cool. Shang. They've been making a bunch of guys from the books, and their stories and stuff like that.
How this Inquisitor though is using an Eldar gun, because Eldar guns are they're like a part of their DNA. They need like.
If you do one of the Inquisitors they literally go after a Xenos, and they also use Xenos weapons and stuff like that.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
They release some kind of.
It's the same way that the other. Inquisitors use all the demon stuff and demon hosts and stuff like that, and they use bound demon weapons and stuff like that.
The radicals.
I love this.
Right, exactly. Any of the radicals of Xenos, you know what I mean? The Xenos hunters or the Inquisition heretic radical
she's
hunters.
Gonna have a shooting attack where this dragon like claws your face.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's literally Codex 2.0.
I was to say, I was saying, the Cyber Eagle.
Yeah.
Ooh.
See, and the sister models are cool too.
Oh, they're so good. They're like the first time I've ever considered.
Now, wait, go back. This Terminator model, I gotta say, I think this is a miss. Like, look at his shoulders and look at his head.
Yeah,
they do not look right. And either looks like he's singing opera and he's like De Niro really short. I don't know, but it just seems really off.
Yeah, he looks semi-off. But the Terminators have always had their heads kind of weirdly low on their armor, though. They're supposed to have like like 2 inches all around. The weird thing about the new Terminator type things is they're making it so the waists are super small for whatever reason to make them look more aesthetic, I guess. But Terminator armor is basically just a block of a dude that's got so much armor that he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a pretty good model.
I mean, we're nitpicking on this because they're still so much better than like Cass even from just a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. No, I like that sister model. Sisters are such a good army right now, too.
Dude, if they get any useful buffs out of the new PA, that army is just going to be OP.
Oh, yeah. Because they would get stuff in the new Psychic Awakening. I don't really even realize.
Well, they're gonna get double dip though, because the new Psychic Awakening is Krons, so nothing for them, but Sisters and Inquisition. So the Inquisition can actually go in the Sisters army too. So effectively, anything good in that Inquisition is going to buff that Sisters that are also getting a buff from that PA.
This model's legit.
But I think that Sisters are a top tier army. So, you know what? Speaking of that, after going to the preview. We talked about it a little bit, Nick, but let's get you a little bit, and then we'll tell you why you're wrong after you. How do you feel right now? Because I'm a big fan of the current meta, but we just can't play in it. But what do you think right now? Except for, I mean, TTS has been getting some games in, and I'm begrudgingly being drawn into some more TTS. I've watched like multiple games now, and I've played 1.5. But
I got like 20, maybe 50, 25 games.
Yeah. What do you feel right now are the top tier meta armies in this new meta that we went into a meta that I think is literally the golden age meta. We left the Iron Hands meta and went into a meta that has so many viable armies, and then a Nurgle Rod hit the planet and we're not able to play. So, but you've played more, TTS type games than us, and we've been asking. Well, the Swedes are they're in like weird Swedish lockdown, so they can still play. So they've got.
Yeah, Daniel sent me a picture. Like he called me and then decided to FaceTime me and then show me the 12 tables that he had set up at the house, and I'm thinking to myself, it doesn't seem like distancing. What the heck is happening?
Yeah. They have Swedish distancing, which means do whatever you want, but just don't do weird other stuff. No one knows. Swedish people do Swedish things. It's a mystery. It's mysterious. Swedish people work in mysterious ways.
But going back to your point, I think the meta is already shifted quite heavily, and for one, I don't think we'll really have an idea at the end. But I think there's 2 factors with that time, and then actually how many models people can get access to. TTS is actually kind of shaking things up because one of the big things is everyone has access to every model that they need or want. So I think the meta is going to get rapidly evolved pretty quickly, especially as once people start practicing the Psychic Awakening books, because I think Saga of the Beast was the last one with Orcs and Wolves. And I think Wolves don't make it. Orcs just got amazing. So if you think about that, I think the 4 armies right now are Sisters, Tau, Orcs, and you could probably put Grey Knights up there, but I don't know how long Grey Knights will stay up there. And then I think that's like super S tier. Then if you go into next, it's Greens.
All right.
Really, Raven Guard, Salamanders.
What was your top tier again? Because my lovely new about to be wife brought me some stuff, and I did not hear the top tier. And I'll have Alan edit that out.
I'll tell Brett hi, but no, I think it's Sisters, Orcs, Owl, and maybe Grey Knights, and then that's
sure.
And then it just drops off from there.
See,
are you sure?
Now here's my question on the. I actually glad about those.
Little Chinatown there, Alan.
Now here's my questions on that. Now with Grey Knights, do you think Grey Knights is going to stay up there because of the fact that I feel the Grey Knights are like super powerful one-hitters, but they're susceptible to the missions in ITC for sure. Just because when I playtest, and don't get me wrong, they're a vicious army. They come down with either Paladins, Terminators, whatever big unit they decide to give all the buffs to is going to wreck your world. But can they sustain that? Because it feels like you're always giving up kill more, and a lot of times you're giving up your opponent, especially because when I try to play against it, I play very aggressively to push up and basically give them one spot to deep strike into, and then I'll take my lumps, but I take the bonus multiple times, and then they start annihilating most of my units with the paladins. But it's like I can almost kill everything in the army. And don't get me wrong, I've been playing a lot of Raven Guard with that too, so that's a little bit skewed because I can take out characters a lot easier than other people can.
So I agree, Brad. Like, I think it comes down to the mission type. That's why I put like maybe Grey Knights in that top, because I think the ITC missions are kind of hurting them right now. Like they actually have a hard time getting some of the secondaries, but they just do so much damage. And I don't know, like, I guess if you think a small GT, yeah, they could probably win a small GT.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know. Because this is how long can you go from 6-7 round games? That's the thing I've been thinking about. But just some of the missions can hurt them, but they just walk through a lot of armies.
Oh,
right?
And the thing is that the volume from a 10-man paladin squad, if you put every buff you can put, you don't, like a lot of those armies I'm seeing are, a lot of them are double paladin. I'm just saying as far as the buffs go, if you put double chaplain buffs with the psychic buffs with the tides on them, you're getting +1 AP, +6 inches shooting, plus plus damage and blah blah blah. They kill whatever they shoot.
They don't even need line of sight.
Yeah, and honestly, a psychic phase, and then
they're the closest thing to a Death Star right now. But with our current mission structure, I do agree. I think they're going to be a massive gatekeeper, potentially like a one person, maybe two, will make it to like the later rounds, round 5, round 6 of an event without losing. But I think they're going to have a hard time against some of the more mobile MSU style lists that can just play the mission really well and mitigate their losses from that one unit and be able to strike when they want. And like the moment that you lose that Paladin star, even though it's very difficult to lose it, but the moment you lose it, the rest of the army starts to crumble. And it gets really hard.
And guys, anybody that's watching is just basically going, these guys are full of shit. I understand that, like, sometimes that Grey Knight army will come down and bust you up, but it's the same type of play that we used to have, and the three of us have been playing for a long time. It's the same feel that it had when we had Centurion Star, other things like that, which they were just killed whatever they saw, but you played around it for mission. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're not good. They're not good. Don't get me wrong. That army is nasty. And if you mess up, that army will pick your army off the board for sure.
Yeah. And see, the thing is it comes back down to the missions too. And I think this is the reason why I think Grey Knights probably pushing to the top is because how some of the other meta is being developed, they sit really, really well with it. So
do you think that a Horde meta is being developed now?
Say it again, Brad?
Do you think that a Horde meta is starting to develop? No, I've been asked. This is literally a question I've been asked multiple times.
I don't think so. No, I don't think. I think that actually that'll be going the wrong direction. But I mean, okay. So like I say, the word meta is stupid because there's a meta in your local area. There's a meta for ITC. There's a meta for ETC. There's a meta for Michigan GT and Nova, and everything has its own little microcosm of what works best. But I think if you're going with the pure Horde mentality, I think you're missing the vehicle meta, let's say. And I honestly think that vehicle meta is going to be something to look at, and just sheer math wounds per point ratio. Like evaluate your wounds per point ratio and play an efficient army.
I just asked because the people have asked that because of the fact that sometimes you can just out model. I mean, hell, Rose did it 2 years in a row with GSC and then just that idiotic Grot army.
Yeah, but the idiotic Grot army
proved me
got
wrong.
wrecked
I was
by
so
Dark
annoyed.
Eldar, both in Sweden and in Serbia.
No. But
we said I should play Dark Eldar.
The mistakes were made.
Because someone can back Grot Steel. It seems like a bad idea. Hey guys, we should do this. Oh wait.
Someone didn't have his meds. I don't know who that was. The guy was an idiot. He probably died.
And
Don't
I
worry
was
about it.
told in Sweden he can't play this. Like absolutely not. And Brad's like, you guys don't know what you're talking about.
Look, I paired the wrong team in the 6th game. All right, I don't want to hear about any of this. So but no, I asked about it because of the fact that sometimes, for instance, one of the popular armies that came out of that nonsense that was it is the Iron Hands Walking Army. For instance, I'll just take one of those armies. That army is very difficult to play against, but also that army doesn't have a lot of options if you bring 200 plus models and just don't engage. You know what I mean? And just basically sit on things. So there's gives and takes. I mean, you don't want to do that against maybe your. And tell you the truth, Grey Knights will have semi issues with that because if you kill everything in the army except for the big unit, you can pick up a unit or two a turn, but this, you know what I mean? That's all you're going to have left to just deliver damage. So I've also seen a decent amount of TTS games played. And of course, it is people that like to play hordes. I've seen Pampers, I've seen Anavati, I've seen multiple people playing just huge horde armies. And then we talked about it a little bit, you know what I mean? But I do think that especially against the Green Knights, a great counter for that would be what Alan's talking about, is a mech army. I think is very good counter for that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I think, forget all the factions, right? I think you're basically getting 3 concepts of lists that are forming. And you're going to get basically this MSU type. Actually, I would say the lists that are forming better are these kind of extremes. They're ones that sit on the high MSU, then have a couple units that have large model count, but they're super durability. And then you kind of break it down to the traditional ones like Sisters is MSU, Hordes is just these larger other units, and then mechanized whatever else.
I think Horde works. And I think Horde works. To go back to what I was saying earlier, you can go to an event and go 4-2, 5-1 with Horde. We've seen people do it. There was people at LVO playing 1 million orcs, just taking objectives, holding more. You come in, I still hold more.
But to counter that though, a really great player can go 4-2 with any army that's decent.
But I was
you know what I mean? If you're looking at an elite level player with a mid to higher tier army, we're talking about actually what is the best
adding on to what you said though, Brad. Like if we have people watching who are like, I don't know what these guys are talking about, my Horde army is doing great. Sure, it's gonna do really good. You're gonna win games, but you're gonna run into something really tough. And if you're not preparing for an all vehicle, if you're not preparing for a double paladin star, if you're not preparing for resiliency and just like crazy efficient, tough models to kill, like way tougher than they should be for their points cost, you're gonna run into some problems that you didn't think about.
I agree on that 100%.
And I think from a meta perspective, I'm thinking when you ask me that question, I'm thinking like if LVO was today, right, and that's the 9-10 round, whatever tournament we have to go to, what list am I going to bring, or what armies am I going to consider to come in to hopefully win the whole thing?
Cheesy ass shit,
right?
I know you, Rose.
No, well the thing is, it's also we have semi-similar thoughts on what we're going to bring on stuff though, because none of us wants to roll the dice and just have one type of matchup that we'll lose to. So we'll bring an army that basically is a little more versatile, maybe a little less powerful, just so we can have more options against anything, as opposed to just, if I face this, I lose. You know what I mean?
Well, and there's some boogeyman lists that you have to worry about and think about, right? Like, I hate to say this, Three Lord of Skulls list, right? That list was, I don't think it's big of an issue in LVO because of Iron Hands, right? But I've played that thing twice now.
So good.
They're just fun. Just dumpsters armies left and right? And I would even argue like it probably needs to get nerfed a little bit, but that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Three Lotus Skulls on Dawn of War. Good night.
Oh, like you okay, cool. You want to play Hordes against that because you think it's only 3 models, but those Lotus Skulls are going to walk into units and pick them all up. Let alone they all shoot and they do more hits that they got shots. So it's
also, just because we're on the Lord of Skulls train right now, I just want to let anyone who's watching know, if you need any Lord of Skulls, I accidentally purchased too many Lord of Skulls, and I've had recently done an inventory check, and I own 7. So if anyone needs any, they're painted, built, ready to go, let me know. And I have 1 unbuilt as well.
Again, how do you have 7 Lord of the Skulls? You never mind. That could be an entire episode. Is your collection of?
You see that picture I sent you, Brad? That was
yes. That's what I'm saying.
Locker.
That's table 1,
dude. It's not even a story. He just brought the shit in his house. He filled up an entire 72 by 48, no space, all models smashed together.
Models
filled it,
not bits, not
built and painted models.
Just built and painted.
And
then that's
Rose,
like 10%.
you can't talk shit either.
I'm gonna move that.
That's when I went, hey Rose, can I borrow some mortars? You know anybody that has them? I need 20 or something of them. And he's like, oh, no big deal. I'm also bringing, this is before the rule of 3. He's like, I'm also bringing 60 of them myself or whatever you brought. And I'm like, why did you have these? You had these before. This is a thing.
I know where Nick got his mortars at. We shop at the same store.
We'll plead the fifth on that one.
Yeah, no, Nick actually has a lot of stuff too. Actually, I didn't realize how much I had though. So this whole COVID thing has been nice to get. So if anyone needs a load of skulls, just reach out. Let me know.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Alan has more than I do.
So ready? We're running the Baramovich Chester Invitational $10 billion tournament. It's all going to be in Russian pranks, of course, but
we should do like
but what are you bringing right now, and what would you think would be your major competition today? You have to play 9 games, of course, no pants allowed, and you have to play 9 games. What are you bringing?
Let Nick go first. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Tau, Farsights with the 6 commanders, and the big crisis soup bomb, and then all the drones.
It's just so much jank. Why gotta be so janky? Walk through it a little bit for those who are watching who don't know about the Farsight, don't know about why you're taking the commanders. Walk us through it. Don't give away all your secrets.
So the first,
you still have to be relevant in the game, but give away some stuff. Give them a little tickle.
I'm a has-been. I am no longer relevant. And
he's got the shirt to prove it.
Damn it! I should have worn my has-been.
And Siegler's the one who's come up with this list, right? But the more and more I think about it, the more and more I play, I think he's just right. But it's Farsight's in the new Second Awakening book got 2 big advantages. One, they can have twice as many commanders as anyone else. So they can have 6. So that means they never get shot. They're always hitting on 2s. They're just so good.
He brings all of his buddies. He's like, hey guys, you 6 right there. You're the ones I like the most. Let's go.
Let's go.
They all happen to have missile pods and ion blasters. Who would ever thought?
Those are good ones.
Yeah, and then just the drone abilities, right? You have all those multiple small units, right? So like even if you face like a Lord of Skulls, they can only kill maybe 6 units because you also have a 4-up pinball and a 5-up, pain save and all those things. So the drones are just so good, and they body block for the other units. And I think the crisis suits are really good, even though for Farsight, because you take the airbursting fragmentation, so you ignore AP1 and AP2, and you have a 2-up save. Like, that's really, really strong. And so it just plays really well. And then between all the stratagems, getting +1s to hit, having marker lights, engaging, you actually can do a little bit of hand-to-hand and melee if someone actually does make it. It's just really, really good. And then it
walk through the ignoring -1 and -2 for people who haven't caught up on that one yet. Combat, shooting.
So it's like
a lot of people haven't seen this because it hasn't been there's no tournament since this has been out. So
so the Second Awakening book, basically Tau units got kind of the tyranny treatment through relics, where you can buy certain units upgrades. And so one of those upgrades is units, battlesuit models with airburst fragmentation. They just ignore AP1 and AP2, but they all have to have airburst fragmentation, which is just really, really good, right?
As a Sisters player, I like it a lot. So
I heard that they have different seps that they can actually pick and choose now. Is this a real thing, Nick Rose?
Oh yeah, and I played a Tau player with 2 broadside units with AP3 missiles and AP2 smart missile systems, just picking up units left and right.
The extra AP on the smart missiles, I didn't think it would be such a big deal, but man, it over the course of the game, just taking that extra, 16.6% wounds is just so huge because you're hiding those 5-man units to try to take objectives, and usually you'd have enough saves where they still stay, and that extra AP1 man just dwindles that unit away,
with the Caillou and then rerolling hits, and then the battlesuit commander giving the broadside unit rerolling wounds. I played a guy having 2 of them and like 30 or 40 drones, right? So it wasn't like too much, but those guys just pick up so many models. I was like, all right, cool. I'll hide behind train. I'll be okay. But the smart missiles just keep on coming, and you can't stop them, and they just hurt. And you think, well, but the missile pods have so much range too, so you can always hide some stuff, but you can't hide enough. Like, you can't survive that much firepower. It hurts.
Yep.
And you can't charge it either. It's just that one needs to get reviewed.
Sorry guys, but a small child made me chocolate chip pancakes and whipped cream, and I like to eat my nonsense foods every once in a while, and they are fantastic. And I had to eat them.
Recently engaged, and you can eat whatever the hell you want on this podcast. coming from the guy who ate a sub this big the last time we were on. So
That is true. Alan went, there's something wrong with my audio. Yeah, good to hear. I'm going to eat this sub while no one can hear me. just
devoured
started
it, dude.
snatching.
There's just one thing we can't eat. That's shellfish
Yeah.
in front of me.
Yeah. Well,
in proximity of 2
okay,
feet.
so
I just brought up
Real-
that story
real
the other
quick
day.
story.
While we were
real
talking.
quick story. Turns out Mr. Darkwin is allergic to shellfish. Deathly allergic. Like he would die if he doesn't have like an EpiPen, basically. And right now on the screen, you see a giant dish of shellfish that I'm going to eat. You guys don't see it. The audience sees it because I'm going to put it here after post-editing. So this exact dish.
Pause this, though, because they also have to know how somehow your stomach is just a vat of deadly acid
so much fun.
that apparently burns all food. Alan and I were eating with Mr. Rose here and a couple of the Swedes, and we ordered a ton of things which we thought were appetizers. So I'm just full. Like, we've ordered so many things, and we get one more thing which we thought was a like small plate of appetizers, and it becomes this huge dish that Alan is going to show you. I ate like one thing off this, and then Alan got challenged that he couldn't eat it.
I ate 0 because if I touch any of it, I die.
And then there was just a mist of death coming at Nick. Continue. I just had to point out that also you ate all of that after someone was like, "You're never going to eat this," and you went, "Challenge accepted."
So when you go to dinner with your 40K friends, especially Brad, you sit down and you're like, "What do you guys want to eat?" And Brad's just always like this: "I'll take a Diet Coke, a red wine, and whatever the hell you guys want. Just order it." Right? So I'm like, "All right, I kind of want to try this. I kind of want to try this." I'm like, "Brad, we're good. We'll just split all this." And Brad's like, "Yeah, it's fine." So I just order a couple things, and then we get appetizer, we eat it, appetizer, we eat it, and they're good. Everything was delicious, and this is in Stockholm. And then finally this dish comes where Nick's face is like, "Am I gonna die?" So we ate that whole thing, and it was delicious. It was as good as the sandwich I had last time on the cast.
But you were snapping legs. You had so much of it.
Debris, like
You
in
should
the air.
you should put colors on his face because Nick just slowly started to swell up like the girl from
He moved seats. He moved seats.
Slowly his head and face.
Also,
I'll be
also,
fine. I just don't have to
also
adjust it.
Robert and the Swedish dudes who were with us were like, "Did he really finish all of that?" Because they were laughing at us that we spent so much money on food we weren't going to eat. And then it was like, "Nah, we're going to eat all this food, bro. This is going to get
Yeah, we've had Americans.
We were better. Yeah, it's like you don't
was
understand
awesome.
our
I loved
gluttony.
But anyways, yeah, that
Yeah.
towel list that you were talking about, Nick, is very, very strong. What do you think is a good counter to it right now?
I think sisters are good. I mean, obviously, you're always worried about Chaos and Eldar because Chaos, if they wrap you or the gym, you don't fall back.
Yeah.
I think there's some play styles with
Do you
it.
think the Possess Bomb?
But,
Do you think
you
the
know-
Possess Bomb can charge the Tau Army in a way? Like, could they get that off? Like, is it possible for them with all the buffs they have and the ability to move as quick as they can? I mean, I'm not talking about a Slanesh one. I'm probably talking about one of the more traditional versions. But do you think that they could possess a risk?
The Nurgle would be nicer
that's what
too
I'm
because
saying.
they do multiple damage, so they'd have to make more of the Phantom
Correct.
Pains.
And the negatives to hit them are better.
It's a possibility. I mean, I don't think the Possess would be very because the airbursting fragmentation and everything else, you don't need line of sight for it. So I guess it all
I'm
depends
just
on
talking about their speed. They can get across the table really fast. One of the ones I've been seeing locally in my area is there's a dude bringing the trees with them. So it's like 2 detachments of like Chaos and one of Alpha Legion, and then they have a tree in that 3rd detachment. So like that unit could also now run and charge and warp time. So like it gets really, really far, really fast.
You're gonna get there anyways though. But the thing is conceal exists, so you're not even shooting them with that. You know what I mean? So you're basically concealing that unit, and you've got minuses on the rest of them. I mean, it's a tough army to play because also Tau doesn't have a ton of stuff to just pick up the characters, which you know what I mean. They don't have a ton of snipers.
I'm going to channel my inner elitism. I don't think it matters because the Possess won't make it past round 3 or round 4 most of the time.
You think like in a
right,
general tournament
so-
they'll lose to something else?
Yeah, so that one boogeyman that you're going to see, you might have to worry about it. And then if you are, you're going to probably play like maybe 3 players, Manny or TJ or someone else. So
I don't think the final version of that list is out there yet. I've said that a couple times though. I've talked to TJ a little bit about it. He's pretty willing. He's been really good with that army. but he's also looking at different experiments. You know what I mean? Because I think the possessed, yes, Zinch Supreme Command, it, basically just throw them in. It's amazing. But I think that the Smite version of that to counter with like Grey Knights and stuff like that is actually pretty decent too. If you have a million denies, which they do, if you have in that actually hurts that army, because then they actually you can hurt the paladins a lot too with either possessed or just targeted psychics. I mean, Chaos has the most targeted psychics in the game.
For sure, definitely.
Yes, I mean, I don't think that possessed army makes it there. So, like, even if you do play it, I think you just play the odds and go, all right, I'll be okay.
What do you think about Eldar then?
No.
Do you think Eldar have the mobility and the hit power to get in there and ruin that? Because that Talus that you kind of walked us through is really strong. I mean, I have to admit, it's very strong. And
yeah, so like,
but Sieg's like, I think I like the army a lot, and I like what Siegler did with it. But I think, like, we were talking about it a little bit off stream, Siegler really works the numbers, and I like it a lot. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very math good army that if you make good non risk plays, you know what I mean? And he plays like that. Like, anytime you play, I mean, a lot of those guys, I'll give Gagno credit. You know what I mean? There's another person that plays in that style, which is just, or Brandon Grant. You know what I mean? Guys that just make very mathematically sound, good static movements. Not static,
Curtis.
just
here in my local
Yeah.
area is a big math guy. My favorite part about him
Well,
though
it's
is
not-
like,
but I'm saying, like, guys that are making like really precise movements and not making a lot of because Curtis will actually go for plays.
only
you know
if
what
the
I mean?
math pans
But as
out.
far
But the best part is the moment
Sure.
that the math doesn't happen on the dice, he just shuts down. It's like a robot shut off the switch, and he'll just talk about
does
that
the-
moment the rest of the game. It
the
doesn't
Copilot
matter
program,
how
he
good the
just
dice
shuts
were
down.
before. Like, he'll just talk about that. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. That math was 3.649. I'm like, what? Let's
Yeah.
just keep
But
playing.
those are
well,
guys-
probability went out the window.
Right. But those are guys that'll just put, they'll basically make it so it's hard to play against them because they consistently make solid movements. You know what I mean? Might not be the flashiest, the most exciting play, but they just continually kind of ground out the game. You know what I mean? So,
The other armies that are doing good, I think, are going to be Sisters and Orcs. I think the Saga of the Beast stuff.
What do you like about orcs? Yeah, walk me through that. I thought Saga of the Beast was pretty cool. I like a lot of the changes, but I think they're mainly, my opinion is they're more fluffy than actually tactical.
you know what? I'm
As
going to read
opposed,
up.
as
Stuff in
opposed to
there?
the Grots. The
Give me-
Grots
give me-
got a
keep going.
massive upgrade.
I'm finding a list for you that I like.
There are some things that are amazing, but let's just talk about the burner bombas that are the hidden piece in that.
I mean, they're not
Right.
really hidden. They just blow up, cause mortal wounds.
Yeah, but like they're so big. Like in the Marine matchup is where Orcs struggle, and the burner bombas will just pick up 3 burner bombas. Will just pick up Grey Knights. They'll pick up most Marines for 2 reasons. Grey Knights and Marines can't shoot them off the table turn 1. It's very, very hard. And then the second piece is those burner bombers come in. Marines really can't block because the burner bomber flies over, drops its bombs. It's like 5 mortal wounds. Does its drop again, does another 4, so that's 9, and then it blows up, right? And it should hit 3, maybe 4 units, and most people you can probably hit more. So you're doing 12 plus another 9, so 21 mortal wounds just with one burner bomber. Times that by 3, that's 60 mortal plus mortal wounds, right? Like that's a lot.
But that's if they're not like spacing out. They're kind of clumped together. You're also.
But see, the Marines have to stay close together for their auras, and if they spread out, then all your rest of your army, the shock attack gun or whatever else, just picks them up. Your flash kits pick them up, and so it fundamentally breaks how the Marine players should play. And if they clump up, you get characters, or if they don't clump up, then you can fly in and get characters, right? And you can get out the linchpins.
Yep.
So it's really bad.
I still like these Space Wolves, you bastards.
You're like, what? Space Wolf? Shut up.
Yeah, Space Wolves are in the dumpster.
Tony
fire, just-
Malave reached out to me. He's like, oh, you're not making me a Space Wolf list, so I asked Brad. So Brad's gonna make Tony Malave a Space Wolf
I
list,
did.
apparently.
I do like, you got your boy Ragnar, you got the Wolf Lord, you got the -1 to hit relic, you got a unit of Terminators, which can drop down, you got impulsors, you got all the good stuff. You got Wolfen,
Right.
like you don't
I'm
like
gonna
Wolfen.
pick top tier.
I'm
Not-
sorry.
It's either me or them. You're getting fucked one way or the other.
I'll be quiet. I want to put my goddamn wolves on the board, damn it.
Yeah, they're not happening.
Yeah. No,
I-
I think
I've been
Nick,
go ahead.
a Blood Angels White Scars army, maybe a mix with a single impulsor with Ragnar in it. That's not bad because Ragnar's pretty good. Like it's Codex Ragnar.
That
Like,
hurts
don't
me.
even
That hurts. That hurts.
forget all the other wolves. Just take Ragnar. 'Cause he's
That's pretty true
insanity.
because then you actually can put them in the upholstery.
Yeah.
No one else can come, so might as
Just take
well.
a patrol.
I
You take a
actually-
patrol.
I
You get
actually
all the
think
strats. And he goes
I
in the
actually
impulsor
think
with 5 dudes, and that's it. You're done.
but BA, White Scars, and Space Wolves are all very, very similar armies, but I think all of those armies are currently tier 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Good. Don't get me wrong. Good armies, but I don't think they're meta defining. I think they're just solid. You could win a tournament 100%.
When the impulsor blows up and starts doing mortals, right? Like that's just if that probably wasn't the biggest problem. That wasn't the biggest problem with them. I think they'd be okay. Just the impulsors blowing up and doing D6. It's going to happen over a course of 8-9 games. It's just too damaging, right? And there's too CP intensive.
I think that we haven't actually seen the best of the combo Marine list yet because of the fact that everybody was playing so much pure stuff for a while. I think that dipping and dapping into Salamanders, Scars, Wolves, whatever, you know what I mean? You're going to see a lot of tri detachments. And I think that those are you're going to find some really good lists out of that are just looking for basically cherry picking into. I mean, Blood Angel Supreme Command is just amazing all the time. You know what I mean? Dipping that in all the time and into whatever else you're looking at. But speaking of top tier armies, I actually think the Double Spear, I've been dicking around a lot with Seer Council right now. I think that's a legit army.
I think you're high. I think you're probably still
crack cocaine.
Yeah, I mean, okay, look, they're good, right? But over, I guess maybe they could win a GT. I don't know about a major, but over like 6 games, 7 games, someone stops the spells or they have a bad time and they just get obliterated.
I literally only brought up the Seer Council just because I knew that you hated it. I actually prefer the non-Seer Council list.
I was gonna say, if I had like something heavy, I would throw it at you and go, "Stop fucking your nonsense."
But you can't go wrong. The thing is that there's a lot of tricks to the Seer Council. I'm not saying it's the best version of the Eldar, but it's something that you can't just discount. I mean, that thing has lots of tricks. You know, the fact that it can literally run into your unit and leave before you get the swing means you can actually do a decent amount of damage. Every single wound that goes through is D3. They're wounded on 2s. They're probably going to be on 2s.
I mean, you're not wrong. I think, you know, that list has viability and it's going to make some people really upset and ruin their runs.
Yeah.
I don't know if you go the
if
full
you're playing
text.
anything with knights or something like that, you're going to be in a world of boo-hoo.
Yeah, so then what about Marines? Like, I hear what you're saying, Brad, but I don't think Marines are top tier anymore. Like, I just think they're sitting in the middle. They're getting pushed down by Orcs, Sisters, and Tau.
I think my Raven Guard went up. I think Raven Guard went up, and I think the rest of the Marines went down. Because because of the fact Raven Guard can beat Tau. It's just a harder matchup. But the thing is that it depends on the board and stuff like that. Because if you can get into the drones fairly early, because all you're looking to do in the early game is to kill drones, because the game doesn't even start until the drones are gone. So you have to basically get into the drones, hopefully make an assault into drones, shoot your hurricanes and your flamers and everything. You've got things like pregame move. If you get into a small deployment, I'll double fight drones. You know what I mean? Because you got to think that if I know I'm going first, there's no more C's anymore. I'll deploy on the line, take Hungry for Battle, maybe deploy Lyos. I advance, then that makes my move 5 plus D6 plus 2, my pregame move. And then I'm going to do that again with advance and charge. I'll just charge fucking drones on turn 1. You know what I mean? Take the no overwatch on the captain.
Yeah, and I think
and just basically blend units, and then I'll get killed in return because
aggressive.
fly away.
Just go.
Yeah, I think Raven Guard are still real, which is fair, but I don't know if they're going to go all the way through, especially with Orcs and Tau.
It's a very tough thing, but no, the Orc matchup's actually easier for the Raven Guard on that because of the fact that I can pick up all the big characters that shoot. I don't have a shock attack gun that's going to shoot Centurions all game long, and Centurions can pick up entire units of boys. Also, if you're bringing like the Grot spam and stuff like that, I can literally shoot infinity numbers of Grots because I'm going to chaplain buff them to be +1 to hit, plus or +1 to wound is the biggest. You know what I mean? With for real.
You already wound them on 2. You don't need to get a +1 to wound.
He
I
needs the
need
plus
+1 to
one.
hit, and I need that. Well, it's also on boys though, because of the fact that when you charge me, my flamers are going to be wounded on 3s.
Brad,
You know what I mean?
gonna-
So
I'm gonna come to Toledo and I'm gonna push your shit in with orcs. It's gonna be awesome.
you're going to be sad. You're going to go
Let's
home.
be honest, Brad. When's the last time you've seen a boy?
I did not come down here just to get jerked off, you know.
What's that?
When's the last time you actually saw a boy on the table?
Yeah, I mean, in never. I mean, when Alan likes to play boys, he hates fucking actual grots. All right, yeah. But my thing is that because of their character sniping, I can actually basically in a base tactic, I'll shoot like something like the Ex Tenebris at your shock attack gun and wait for you to declare grot shields on that. Then I'll start picking up whatever else. You know what I mean? Character watch. I'll kick up the force field. I'll kick up the psychers, you know what I mean, and whatever else. I'll pick up multiple characters in a turn. It's not like it's an auto game. It's just it has the advantage against other Marine players. It's the same thing when I'm talking about Grey Knight stuff. Again, Grey Knights are very difficult to play, but I with the Raven Guard, I have the opportunity to pick up the chaplains, the brother captain, all those dudes that are given those buffs. All of a sudden, that Death Star unit isn't as scary because it doesn't have as much range as buffs. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's an easy play. It just has. I think the Raven Guard stepped up in their power level because they have more. They didn't get any better. They just got more answers to all the new things that came out. So I think that they're still. They think that they're hanging on to tier 1. They're literally. They're on the edge. They're clawing it, but I still think they have the answers to all of. They play very well against Eldar. You know what I mean? They kill all the psychers. The shenanigans that are happening.
They do dumpster fire Eldar really well, right? So
that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I still put them in that tier 1, not just because I have a place in my heart for them because I play them, but just because like I try to go to different things besides that, and I keep going. Well, if I play a different type of Marine, I won't be able to pick up characters, and that's where I always go with the Raven Guard.
And I suggest salamanders because you can pick up characters with salamanders.
Kind of, and the thing
Not
is
as
that neither one of us. No, that's a sore spot for both of us actually, because both Rose and I have been back and forth on a viable salamander build, and we never find the one that feels better than what.
If Ben Moley gave up on salamanders, the two of you need to just forget about it because
there's one build with salamanders and Imperial Fist. This is the last try, and then. It's just we're going with talent.
So Nick, let's transition. Just because of time, I do want to ask one more question to you, Nick. What are your plans for the upcoming future here with COVID and everything? What are you anticipating being your next event? What are you open to going? Like if ATC happened, would you be going? Brad's already said no, but would you be going? Like they announced, let's say at the end of the month in April, they're like, hey. COVID numbers are down. We're going to go state by state. If the state is open, they're good. And I already know in Tennessee, they're having churches open and all kinds of stuff open there. So if they say they're good to go, are you going?
No, I'm not going to ATC in Tennessee.
How about this? What's the first tournament that you'll think? Not even first tournament, just what month?
Yeah, Battle of Salvation might have a team event in July. The three of us can
if they said on May 1st that the lockdown is over, when would you feel comfortable for you and your family, you going to a large tournament? We're talking a Nova, an ATC, you know what I mean? Something big enough where you'd be at risk outside of your current population.
Yeah, so I think I probably would think about after like June or July. If it ended up in May, I'd probably give it a month, right? Just because of buying, transitioning, getting everything else, even myself for work, hopefully. I think realistically, I'm hoping Nova is the next big tournament, because I don't see another one.
What's the date on Nova? It's the end of August.
September.
But it's in September this time?
Yeah, it's September.
Yeah, I don't think there's another big tournament besides ATC between that and Nova.
I would set my sights on Nova. I put for myself. I originally was like screw 2020 at first, but then I think that if they called it right now, basically said May, whatever. I would give it a few months, and I think that September would be the first time that my deathly ass would try to go anywhere.
Yeah, and I'm not I guess I'm not as concerned as you are, Brad, and I understand why you are. But it's still a concern for even me and my family. So I guess we'd have to get our shit together and what we're doing from response. I don't see this coming down anytime soon. It's like I don't even know if we're gonna get Nova. I hope we do, but
I don't know about the thing is you got to think about your significant other and your children if you have, you know what I mean, things like that. It's just like basically getting really sick actually made me even more afraid of everything, just because it just kind of, I was like, oh shit, what else could happen, with bringing home. I get sick at every tournament, you know what I mean? I mean, that's just me because I have some issues, but I mean, that's a real thing when, everybody calls con crud, you know what I mean? People come from all over the nation or across the country, different countries internationally.
Yeah.
And they bring their local whatever. You don't know what else they could be doing, you know what I mean? As far as all this COVID and everything else.
I would probably be doing tournaments that I can drive to, right? And I'm luckily in the Northeast, so it's a little bit easier. Like going to Nova, I could drive to. That's how I would think about it. But yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't. That is another thing. I would drive both ways instead. I would make the long drive to Nova. If I was going to do Nova, I would 100% drive both ways.
Yeah.
That sounds like actually fun, Brad. If Nova does happen and I'm able to get a ticket, I may drive out to you and we can drive together.
Perfect. Yeah, I've done that multiple times on that thing because it's just sometimes it's easier to bring multiple armies. I've actually been the guy that brought multiple armies for other people on that for Nova before. So
actually, you know what I would probably do before we go to a big GT is I would have a hosting at my place or something. I could bring select people out and then do something there.
Yeah, I'm always down for that. That's always fun.
I think that's a little bit more safer and that gets people together. So that's how I think.
I'm not gonna lie, I am fucking dying to hang out with my friends. It's just that's why I just was so. I guess that more than anything, with even besides the fact that I'm a technological idiot, by the TTS thing, it just didn't give me the same. It's not as much fun to talk shit to you while we're playing if we're just moving,
TTS
models.
is garbage. Sorry for everyone who likes it. I hate it.
Yeah, it's not as fun.
I'm looking forward to your line of sight conversations on TTS. By the way, please let me know how those go.
We all know that I always lose those anyways because I'll never bend down to actually look at them. So I always go on what my opponent eventually says. I might call somebody else to look at it, but we know I'm not going to go down and look at it.
It is actually, you know what? I've had zero playing TTS, and everyone's actually been great. I would actually even argue better playing them in real person. Because you know what it has to go do? It forces everyone to play by a 10. Right? Because everyone's like, yeah, you can go do that. Or, no, like, come on. We're like, this is how we're playing. Like, all right, got it. Move on.
That's the only thing I love, but I'm really happy about what's happened because I've actually spectated more games than I've played. I think that people are forced to, because of the inaccuracies of TTS, forced to play by intent. And I hope that philosophy, and I know you guys know I'm a psycho about this, I feel that people are going to hopefully bring that back to the tabletop game after this is all done.
And I will say this, I've lost a bunch of games on TTS, and I haven't actually lose too many, so I'm actually kind of happy about that, because then I'm learning going, I didn't realize about X or Y or Z, right? So
I mean, it's much better to do that at TTS than it is to do that in the middle of Nova. But, I didn't know that did that. You have 6 commanders? I didn't know you were allowed to take that.
What is that going to do? The broadsides being AP3 going,
Rule of 3. Rule of 3. DQ this guy. DQ this guy.
Just circling it over and over again.
Your list is 100% illegal.
And a point over.
Pretty funny. I think we had a good cast today. Talked a little bit about the meta, told some stories. And I want to thank you, Nick, for joining. And as always, Brad Chester is sponsored by Red Hot, Frank's Red Hot. He puts that shit on everything. And you guys want to say anything to end their cast? You guys good?
Play by
I just miss you guys. I wish we can come together.
Yeah.
That was very much out of context. And I'm going to play with that later.
Who is this guy?
All right. Anyway,
whatever you want, Alan. I know you will.
Yeah, I was just going to say, well, you're fine no matter what he says. So.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.